This is the Louie T Network. The journey is long, and nobody said it was going to be easy. But all we've got is us.
You have any quarterback news for us?
All that believe.
Yes, we do have news. We have announced that Kirk Cousins will be the starter for 2015 moving forward. And I think all three quarterbacks should be commended for their efforts, their willingness to get better. But when it's all said and done, after all the film that we've gone through, all the off-season activity, all the training camp footage, we feel like at this time, Kirk Cousins gives us the best chance to win, and that's where we're going.
When you say for 2015, does that mean barring?
It's Kirk's team.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskins brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Luke. Thank you for joining me here, Redskins Report Midseason Evaluation time. Perfect time to have a bye week at week 8. Splits the season basically right down the middle. Redskins are 3-4 at the current juncture of the season. We'll talk about the record, and we'll talk about where we are and where we're going and all of those things. We're going to cover every single thing in this video. And you damn right I like that, Kirk. Yeah, I like it. I want more of it. That's my boy, Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk. We're going to talk about him here in a second, as we're going to cover a multitude of Redskins questions and just different things that this team has brought to our attention over the first 7 weeks of the season. Moving forward, a lot of things to discuss. First and foremost, though, I gotta handle something, and I generally don't handle dirty laundry like this over the airwaves. Normally I do this in comment form, but this one kind of got under my skin a little bit. And when it comes from non-Redskins fans, and this person is a non-Redskins fan, generally I don't respond because they don't know what it's like to be a Redskins fan. You can't understand the plight of the Redskins fan if you're not one, so generally I don't get into debates with people when they don't know what it's like, okay? If you've been a Redskins fan for 20 years, then you've never seen a winner, okay? If you've been a Redskins fan for 30 years or more, then you know what it's like to have a winning outfit, to know what it's like to have a competent organization. We haven't been that way in such a long time that if you've been a Redskins fan for 15 years, I feel for you, okay? Because you don't know what it's like to have won, to have had an organization that made the right moves and put together a competent football team week in and week out. You don't know what that's like. And I feel bad for you because I don't know when we're going to put it together and turn this thing around. But normally when it's not a fellow family member, I don't get into this with them. But this one got under my skin a little bit, so I'm going to address this quickly and then we're going to move on. There was a commenter by the name of SBO, and he's cool people, okay? He's a Carolina Panthers fan, and he said, hey, I've been doing a lot of watching of the league on the Red Zone channel and feel like I'm pretty well versed in a lot of different teams now because I've had a chance to watch a lot of different squads and what they're doing, and he wanted to chime in. And because he's a fan of this channel, he finds himself gravitating towards the Redskins when he's not rooting on his Panthers. Great, you know, I love that. So he said, look, man, I've been watching a lot of teams around the league, and Kirk Cousins, I feel like, can get it done. He said, your opinion seems to change on a weekly basis on Kirk Cousins. And I had to stop him right there. Hit the brakes, stop right there. Because now you're trying to make it seem like I'm contradicting myself. I've always been a Kirk Cousins supporter. We drafted Kirk Cousins to be a backup quarterback. He may not have felt like a backup coming out of Michigan State, but we drafted him to be a backup behind Robert Griffin III. That's what he had been to this point. His play has not shown me that he's anything other than a backup. And although I want him to solidify the starting position in Washington, because I'm going to talk about Kirk Cousins here in a second, but I want to get this out of the way. Until he proves otherwise, Kirk Cousins is a backup in my mind now. Do I think he has the tools and the ability to be a starting quarterback in this league? You damn right he does. okay? And I've been singing his praises, and I've been saying that Kirk Cousins needs to start. Now, you go back in the archives, checking the preseason, and the Redskins made all the right decisions. And I said, look, I don't care how you get to the conclusion of Kirk Cousins being our starter. He needs to start. He gives this team the best chance to win. They figured it out. They got to that point, and he was the starter. And I said, I want to see him for the entire season because this is a contract year. We need to figure out if Kirk Cousins is the guy or not. Now, after what I saw last year in a very small sample size, I'm like, I don't know about Kirk. He's very inconsistent. And yes, he was young, hadn't played a lot, and that's what happens when you put a guy in there that hasn't played a lot. You get mistakes. So you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But once again, when things keep happening over and over and you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again, it's not a trend. It starts to look like a pattern, okay? So now I'm thinking that's just who you are. So in my mind, I'm thinking Kirk Cousins probably was drafted to be a backup, probably is a backup. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen, and this is where you not being a Redskins fan comes into play and you can't understand. If you're a Redskins fan, you've seen this movie before. The script is a little different, but you've seen this movie before for the most part. Remember Jason Campbell? Remember that guy? You can't tell me, and some of you don't have as vivid a memory as I do. Some of you can read it back just like I can and play it back just as if it happened yesterday. I remember week 3, 2008 season, Jim Zorn comes in, and Jim Zorn has us starting that season out like gangbusters. I mean, I want to say it was week 2 or week 3, one or the other. New Orleans Saints comes to DC. We're down 22 to 24 in that game. J-Cam throws about a 65, 67-yard touchdown pass over the top to Santana Moss, who catches it in stride, gets in the end zone. Come from behind victory with about 3 minutes left in the game. We win 29-24 over the Saints. We go on to start that season 6-2. We look like we're ready to turn the corner. Jason Campbell looks like the guy. Yeah, J.K. looks like the goddamn guy. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers come to FedEx Field on a Monday night, whoop our ass, tear us a new asshole. We're never the same. Season goes downhill. J-Cam was never the same. So I've seen guys come in with promise, give us hope, found our franchise guy, only to realize he's just a backup. There's nothing wrong with that. J-Cam, serviceable backup for the remainder of his career. He was a backup. What about P-Ram? Remember P-Ram? A lot of y'all don't remember P-Ram. Patrick Ramsey out of Tulane, second round pick of the Redskins, early 2000s. Steve Spurrier single-handedly tore that man to shreds. His confidence, his ability to hang tough in the pocket. P-Ram had talent. I watched P-Ram sling the football all around the field. Here comes the old ball coach in here with his fun and gun offense, no protection, nobody in the backfield. You're talking about 5 receivers out in the route, no back. P-Ram got killed. He thought this was college and that he was going to come in and guys weren't going to blitz his quarterback and his quarterback was just going to stand around like Florida and just toss the ball all around the field and have fun. That's why they call it the fun and gun offense. That didn't work in Washington. And P-Ram's confidence went from here to down here. You couldn't even see P-Ram's confidence. He was seeing ghosts, man. Even when players weren't coming after him, he was scared. He looked like he could be a starter in this league. Turned out to be a backup. Turned out to not even last in this league. I've seen this before. I've seen this movie. So before I give Kirk the benefit of the doubt, he's got to go out and show me that he's not only not a backup, but that he can be the guy in Washington. So my stance has never changed. You've never once heard me say Kirk is the guy. He's definitely going to be here. I've always had cautious optimism when talking about Kirk Cousins, but I'll tell you this much, this has never wavered. He's the best guy on this roster right now at the quarterback position and gives us the best chance to win. I've always said that since we found out last year that Robert Griffin III couldn't do it, okay? So that's been the echoing sentiment over and over and over again. Is, I want Kirk in, I want Kirk in, I want Kirk in. Never said he was the guy. Moving forward, I just said he needs to get a shot to prove that he can be the guy. But in my mind, coming out of last year, he's a backup, and he's shown me this year that he has some of the qualities necessary. So in essence, In summary, essentially, SVO, it's a defense mechanism, one that you know nothing about because you're not a Redskins fan, but as a Redskins fan, you learn, much like a boxer, protect yourself at all times. So Kirk Cousins being a backup quarterback is a form of a defense mechanism for me. I'm keeping my guard up because I don't want to be let down again. I've told you about past quarterbacks that have come through here, have all the tools necessary to be the guy and couldn't get it done. I'm just making sure that Kirk isn't another one of those dudes. So I'm putting the guards up and I'm protecting myself at all times. Kirk has to show me that he can be the guy. Speaking of which, let's jump into this Kirk Cousins discussion. Starter versus backup. Okay, that's the real dilemma we're dealing with right now. In the first 7 games of the season, and if you want to look at the full body of Kirk Cousins over the 2 years, 3 years that he's played in this league, 16 starts now, okay? The starts that he got in 2013, Mike Shanahan's last year when he benched Robert Griffin III and tried to save him from himself. He had about 3 or 4 starts at the end of that season. Had a few starts last year, about 3 or 4 more starts last year. And then you've got the 7 starts this season for a total of 16 starts, so a full season. So you're talking about 1 full season of Kirk Cousins. You're talking about a guy that's thrown for over 4,000 yards. You're talking about a guy, 27 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. You're talking about a guy that's right around 80 in a passer rating. So you're talking about a guy that's been average, okay? That's not bad for a guy that's making his... If you look at other guys' first 16 games, their rookie season, I mean, really, what are we talking about here? Okay, he's right there where he's supposed to be in that learning curve. Now, the question that I have to pose to all of you out there is, first things first, I need to see more consistency. If Kirk Cousins is going to be the guy, I want more consistency. But he's shown me some things that I thought he lacked coming into the season. I needed to see the it factor. What is it? It is the ability to lead your team when they're behind, to rally the troops, summon the strength late in the ball game, to take your team wherever they need to go, whether it's 71 yards for a touchdown, 35 yards for a field goal to tie the game. We've seen him do all of those things. He did it in Atlanta. We were down by 4. He takes us down the field, gets us in the end zone, gives us the lead. The Falcons go down the field, take the lead, go up by 3. Kirk takes us back down the field, gets us back in the field goal range in 24 seconds, allows us to go to overtime. Now, we all know about the Ryan Grant slip in overtime. Unfortunate, but it happened, okay? A lot of you are going to blame Kirk for that. Whatever, okay, fine, whatever. Look, fact of the matter is, Eagles game, down by 4, need a touchdown. Kirk takes us down the field, gives us an opportunity to win, and we do win. We're down by 6 in the Tampa game. Kirk takes us down the field, and we were down 24 in that game. And Kirk led us back, all the way back, including the game-winning drive, down 6, needing a touchdown. Kirk takes us on about an 88-yard drive to get in the end zone and caps it off with another touchdown pass, this time to Jordan Reed. So he's shown us the it factor. You got to have it as a quarterback, the ability to lead your team from behind when trailing late in the ball game. He's shown that. He's shown the ability to be able to tie the ball game up when down and take games to overtime. So he's shown the ability to have it. Then I needed to know, does he have mental toughness? Does he have the mental toughness necessary? Because last year, I heard in the offseason, he had to go to some kind of mental health clinic to get his mental strength up. It wasn't high enough. He needed to get his mental weight up. So he went to some kind of mental health clinic. I generally don't want to hear that about my quarterback. I generally don't want to hear that about my quarterback. I don't want to hear that he had to go to some mental health clinic to raise his mental strength and get his weight up mentally because he wasn't tough enough to endure the rigors of being an NFL quarterback and the criticism and all of the things that comes making mistakes and having selective memory and forgetting about the last mistake and coming back and throwing an 80-yard touchdown pass or taking your team on a 14-play 80-yard drive after making a monumental mistake. He didn't have that last year. I was worried. I've seen mental toughness from Kirk this year, okay? Does he have that fire in his belly? You need that. You see Tom Brady, when he gets an incompletion or a guy runs a wrong route and he's up, bam, he's pissed off. Aaron Rodgers, guy runs a wrong route, he thought he should have been here, he was there. Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. Does he have that fire in his belly? I wasn't sure. But guess what? Kirk said, Yeah, I like that, Kirk. That's the fire.
You like that? You like that?
Kirk's got it. It's there. He's showing me signs of wanting to be the guy. The one box he hasn't checked. I can't take Kirk on the road right now. He doesn't know how to act when he leaves the house. Okay? That's all about home training. When he's at the crib, he minds his manners, he does everything he's supposed to do, he goes about his business. You him in like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's when I take him out, away from the house, on the road, and ask him to act like he's been there before, that's when he starts struggling. We saw the Rams game at the crib. Beautiful performance. Hell, that Dolphins game might have been his worst home game, and I actually thought he played well. Had a couple of questionable decisions. The 2 picks in that game, one of them was just a tremendous play by Bryce McCain. The other one was a bad decision, but for the most part, he played well enough for us to win that football game. The Rams game, he was outstanding in that game. Outstanding in that game. Eagles game, even better. And this last game versus Tampa, you can't play the quarterback position any better than that. Seriously. I mean, he's been tremendous at home. It's when we take him on the road and ask him to duplicate what he did at the crib on the road, that's when he starts acting out. And that's the consistency that I'm looking for and that I'm asking for, is do the same thing you do at home on the road. We haven't won on the road all season long because Kirk has played his worst football on the road. That Giants game, he was abysmal. Was, to me, his worst game of the season. Not only turnovers and questionable decisions, but he was off target. He was inaccurate the entire night. He missed open receivers for touchdowns. He was terrible in that Giants game. The Falcons game, I thought the first half was sketchy. I thought the second half, and really the third quarter, half of the third quarter, and all of the fourth quarter, and even into overtime, I thought he was tremendous. At one point, up until that pick 6 for a touchdown, he had 11 straight completions in that Falcons game. He turned it up. But it was inconsistent because the first half of that game, he was sporadic. Ball was everywhere. He threw interceptions. That's the Kirk we don't want to see. Then you've got the Jets game. That was horrible, okay? He was horrible in that Jets game, and he actually looked somewhat rattled in that game. So, look, at the end of the day, but he had no targets in that game against the Jets. I mean, we were really dealing with a lot of injuries in that game, and I don't want to make any excuses. Teams deal with injuries. Deal with it. But when you take all of the man's targets away from him and say, hey, go out and win with just these guys, it's pretty tough to do. So, and no run game, by the way, okay? He's got no assistance from the run game, hasn't had it for about a month now, so he's having to do a lot of this on his own. So it's tough when you ask a young quarterback, go win the game by yourself. Defense ain't gonna help you, okay, because the defense stinks. Run game is non-existent. You don't have one of those. Go win the game by yourself. That's a lot for a young quarterback. Who's doing it? Who's winning without the aid of a run game and no defense? Who's doing it? Show me a team. Show me a quarterback who's doing that right now. Because you can't. Nobody's doing it. Because that's too much to ask. We don't even ask Tom Brady to do that. We don't ask Aaron Rodgers to do that. We don't ask Drew Brees to do that. We don't ask the great quarterbacks in the league to do that. How you going to ask the guy that's just making his 16th start in the league to do that? Impossible. Stop it. So, Kirk's performed well under the circumstances. I just need to see consistency. If he can show me that in these final 9 games, there's no doubt in my mind he needs to be the starter moving forward. And I'll tell you this much. Okay, so you don't want Kirk to start. You're a Redskins fan out there. You think Kirk's garbage and we need to move on and we're being biased and we don't want Robert. No, Robert's not coming back. You can get that out of your brain right now. Robert's done in D.C. He may not be done in the league, and I'm rooting for him to go somewhere else and have a really good career, but it's not going to happen here. But okay, so you don't want Kirk starting. Who is your alternative? Who you got? Who's better than Kirk Cousins? If you can tell me who you're gonna, because you don't say, oh, we're gonna go draft. There's no one to draft in college football, and we're not gonna be bad enough and high enough of a draft pick to get anybody, even if there were quarterbacks there. But there's nobody, and I mean nobody in college football. The pro-style quarterback is dead. Dead, I tell you. It's gone. Never to come back again. It's gone. You're not going to find too many pro-style passes. Jameis Winston is the last of a dying breed. A lot of these quarterbacks now, spread offenses. They're never under center. They're always in the shotgun or the pistol. Their fundamentals stink. The Jeff Goff kid, oh my goodness, he stinks. You don't want him. I'm just telling you right now. So there's not options out there. What you gonna do? You gonna trade King's ransom for Jay Cutler? What you gonna do? Trade for Matthew Stafford? Go get Kaepernick? Do you really want to deal with another Robert Griffin III in the form of Colin Kaepernick? What you gonna do? Trade for Mike Glennon? What you gonna do? Zach Mettenberger? These teams are gonna put a gun to your head. Oh, you want Zach Mettenberger? Okay, I need your first round pick. I need your second round pick. I need your third round pick. No, we're not giving that up. Oh, you want Matthew Stafford? I want 2 of them things. I want 2 first round picks. Are you crazy? Or just stupid? What are you gonna do? What are your alternatives? Kirk Cousins is better. And I'm gonna tell you right now, look around the league. Look around the league. Take a look. I can run off 6 or 7 teams right now. Put Kirk Cousins on their team and they're better. Okay? Their quarterbacking situation's terrible. You want to add our name to the list of teams with quarterbacking situations that are terrible? Get rid of Kirk Cousins. But there are about 6 or 7 teams that can use a quarterback right now, okay, that are struggling at the quarterback position. And if you offer them a chance at Kirk Cousins, they jump at that opportunity. So let's not make this thing out to be a situation where let's just get rid of Kirk Cousins, let's get rid of Jay Gruden, let's just start over. Start over with who? With what? It's not that simple. Stop being irrational, okay? Kirk Cousins, if he can prove that he can be consistent over these last 9 games, and you want to tell you what? The rest of this season is going to be huge, not only in his development, but also in him proving that he has the ability to be a consistent starter in this league, because the difference between a starter and a backup is consistency. A starter does it on a week in, week out basis for the most part. A backup, he'll have an outstanding game, and then he'll have 2 or 3 bad games, and then he'll have another outstanding game, which is what Kirk has been doing this year. So he has to prove that he can string these good games together. And they can't all be at home, because you're not going to play every game at home. He's got to take this show on the road. This game against New England is huge. You're getting a lot of stuff back. I want to see how Kirk responds to getting all of these players back, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for Kirk Cousins to get all of these players back in the rest of this season, in week number 9 and moving forward. Let's hope they stay healthy, because it's going to really help his development. We've seen the difference in just Jordan Reed. We've seen the difference in just him being in the lineup mix, okay? Imagine throwing D-Jax in the mix and getting Deshaun Jackson back. Think about this. Just think about this for a second, okay? If the offensive line stays relatively intact, and this offensive line has been outstanding, but it's been outstanding because Kirk Cousins is getting rid of the football so quickly that these guys don't have to do much. From snap to release of the football, it's like that, because Kirk knows where he's going with the football, he's getting rid of it, so these guys are doing their job, they're doing it really well. But that being said, offensive line stays intact. Listen to this. Listen to what we have on the offensive side of football. I mean, just think about how good we could be offensively if guys stay healthy. You got D-Jax as a number 1. That allows Pierre to be a damn good number 2 in this league. Jamison Crowder eating cats up in the slot. Come on. Jay Reed. Who's checking that boy, man? Who's checking that man? Who's checking him? Nobody. So just think about that. Chris Thompson catching the football out of the backfield as well. Okay? You still got Ryan Grant if need be. We got weapons for days if guys just stay healthy. It's amazing what a number 1 wide receiver can do for your offense. And what Jordan Reed is he's probably the best tight end not named Rob Gronkowski in the league. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So just imagine if Kirk could have all of those weapons at his disposal, what this offense could be. I'm just saying. I mean, we got a chance to really do some things offensively. Now the defense, we're going to talk about them a little bit later on, but this offense could really do some big things if guys stay healthy moving forward. So I really want to see, I'm anxious to see what Kirk looks like with that full complement of targets for him on the offensive side of football. There's a lot of questions to be answered with Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm fully confident in the Redskins' ability to assess what's going on here and keep Kirk Cousins. I don't, even if he continues to be up and down and he's a backup, he's better than anything else that's out there. I'm not saying get this man a huge long-term contract. If he continues to show that he's just a backup, so be it. Give him a 2-3 year deal, make it a really solid deal, nothing earth-shattering, and you keep it moving. But in my mind, there's nothing better out there. Until we can find something that's better, You can't get rid of Kirk Cousins. And if he proves, and I like what he's doing and where this is going, I need the consistency though. That's what's killing me right now. Is I need to be able to take Kirk on the road with me and pack him in a little bag and say, all right, Kirk, you ready? And open up the bag and have Kirk perform, pack him back up, take him back home to the crib. Well, I know he's going to do work, okay? I need Kirk to be able to travel and be consistent on a week in, week out basis. This New England Patriots defense, they're not world beaters, okay? We can move the football to scoring them. Now, is our defense going to be able to stop them from scoring? No, they're not. But we should be able to score. Make this a shootout, damn it. Show the world what you about, man. Be consistent on the road. We're going to see if he can do that in the second half of the season. But I'm telling you right now, for those of you out there that are delusional, Kirk Cousins is our best option. And there's not anything else out there to replace him with. If you can tell me a better option where we don't have to give up King's ransom to get it, to bring it to Washington, I'll listen. But if you're talking about going out and getting Jay Cutler, you're talking about going out and getting Matthew Stafford, you're talking about going out and getting Kaepernick, you have to give up King's ransom for those dudes. You're talking about going out, and even the ones that are backups, you think those teams not going to put a gun to your head and say, hey, I want a 2, a 3, and a 5. You think they're not going to put a gun to your head? You damn right they're going to put a gun to your head, man. Because you need the quarterback. Look, he's on my roster. He's not going anywhere, okay? You want him. I don't need you to take him off my hands. He's cool being a backup for my team. You want him to start for your team, so you got to pay me. I'm going to put this gun in your head, man. And don't make me pull this trigger because I whip, okay? So, you think you're going to go get a Zach Mettenberger? You think you're going to go get a Mike Lennon? Really? What do you think you're going to have to give up for them boys? They're not going to give them to us for free, okay? So, I just want you guys to understand the dynamic that exists here. Kirk Cousins is the guy in DC right now, and I really think if he continues to grow and mature and experience allows you to do that, he's going to be the guy in DC for many years to come. But right now, in my mind, he's still a backup until he proves otherwise. I've seen this movie before. I just want him to check that final box for me, the most important box. Consistency, Kirk. Check the box off, Captain Kirk. Check it off so we can move on and make you the guy in DC for years.
There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter @InTheLabRoom, or you can like the Facebook page @InTheLabRoom. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and @InTheLabRoom on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. The Redskins Report.